All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday talk. This is His Excellency Dakar, and to my right, I have Her Excellency Cairo, and we're going to be interviewing some outstanding men. So, Her Excellency Cairo, and you over the torch.
And when you say torch, you mean the mic, for those who are just on the conference call line. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Wonderful. Well, good evening everyone, and welcome to the GODSU Tuesday Icon Talk. I'm your host, Her Excellency Coach Cairo of Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes, and it is my absolute pleasure to be introducing and interviewing two wonderful men of GODSU, unlocking legacy successfully, or as we say, just to repeat it a little bit, moguls. All right, so we're going to hear from these two men of two different backgrounds, one primarily in education, the other one primarily in religion. And we're going to hear about how they envision their legacies and how they're executing them as well. So without further ado, I would love to actually introduce to everyone, again, Professor Dr. Prince Ordu. Professor Prince Dr. Ordu is currently employed as a faculty member of Health Services Administration at Strayer University and Ashford University. He is also the Chief Operations Officer of Excellence in Teaching, Learning, and Leadership, a consulting firm owned by him and his wife. In this capacity, he develops effective strategies for the overall management and operation of the organization and consults with other organizations on health and human services. Previously, Dr. Ordu was Professor of Health Sciences, Head of the Department at Novena University, Delta State, Nigeria. He was the Program Chair and Professor of Healthcare Management with American Intercontinental University, Atlanta Campus, Georgia, USA. Professor Ordu is a healthcare consultant, fundraiser, certified trainer, manager, HIV/AIDS instructor, motivational speaker. He also designs and conducts professional development workshops. He published a book entitled Administrative Management Problems in Selected Hospitals and River State, Nigeria in 2009, in which he modeled it after his doctoral dissertation. He has also published professional articles and book reviews. Professor Ordu frequently presents nationally and internationally at professional conferences. He has lectured extensively on healthcare, political management, leadership, and management development. In addition, he's an award-winning scholar and educator. He's an award-winning recipient of the 1996 Who's Who Among American Professionals Award and the recipient of the Professor of the Year 2010 by Alum Association Ozuzu, Eche, River State, Nigeria. Professor Ordu's most recent presentations on the topic of healthcare. He was invited to present at the American Academy of Professional Coders Conference in Marietta, Georgia, March 2018. The presentation topic was Top Trends in Healthcare for the 21st Century. In addition, he recently provided a presentation on human trafficking at Strayer University Public Policy Symposium in Morrill, Georgia, the same year. He believes that every encounter is an opportunity. He is also, we are so grateful to have him, as the Vice-Provost of Global Obadiah Seminary and University. Professor Dr. Prince Ordu, are you on the line at this time? Dr. Ordu?
The line.
Perfect, perfect. Well, we're so happy to have you on this line. The first question I have for you, because Professor Ordu, you are such an accomplished professor, especially in the areas of healthcare. I wanted to know, how did you get into this field of education and academia? What is the journey that has led you to become an award-winning scholar and educator?
Thank you, Cairo Yuba. It's a pleasure to be with the All GODSU family tonight in reference to Icon Talk. In fact, growing up, my parents taught me that life is a learning process. And having the opportunity to see my parents being educated and to support the community gave me the audacity and impetus to embed into education. And growing up with that, I understand the importance of education. At the age of 16, I finished my high school, and my thought was, where do I proceed with high school? And being that my sister and her husband was in the United States, having traveled to UK and France and South Africa at a younger age with my dad, I decided to follow my senior sister's footsteps and got into US at the age of 18 and started my journey of education. Now, with all that, I put myself academically in the class. And during the campaign of Jesse Jackson, the first time he ran for his presidency, I was able to meet him. And that was because I was the president of the Student Association at Bishop College, Dallas, Texas. With that, I've grown up to know the importance of education and the empowerment that education can bring in the community, because it takes a village to raise the child.
I completely agree with you, Dr. Ordu. There are a lot of people who look at myself and Excellency Dakar and they say, wow, look at how much you've accomplished at such a young age. I'm 24 years old, he's 22, but we have to give credit where credit is due. We did not just come out of the womb being able to speak or do graphic marketing and graphic designing and marketing and all of that. What it took was really the exposure, as well as being by mentors and spiritual parents that have helped us become the people we are today. So I love that you talked about that exposure that you had internationally traveling, as well as just this concept that it really does take a village to raise a child. And you know, as an educator, you are an academic parent, right? In the sense that you are helping to bring up this student to give them the necessary tools that they need to be able to be on their own, right? With this knowledge that they get. And we're talking about legacy, building a legacy, right? And so your legacy in education, I want to know, how do you empower your students professionally as well as academically to leave a legacy for themselves?
First of all, also, I did understand that all human fingers are not equal. And what does that mean? That in academic classroom, you have those that are not being average. You have average and you have excellent students. All mixed up. Now, in that, and growing up, being someone who I went through all the classroom management and challenges within my own self, I know that everybody will not perform at the same academic level. So I did empower my students academically by respecting their cultures. First, we have to understand each other's culture in order to learn and do business together. Understanding the difference in culture gave me the power to be able to take those that are not average students, to make them understand that whatever they think to be, that they can be. And by doing that is by focusing attention, taking notes, and creating a timetable that will enable them to study privately in order to be able to understand their weaknesses and be able to present their weaknesses to me to encourage them to make corrections from what the assignments and what can help them become who they think to be outside the classroom.
You know what you just said. Those are characteristics or actions that an excellent professor or educator would take. It reminds me of our Chancellor, Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, who has spent decades in the areas of education. When she was teaching high school science, decades ago, when I tell you that she would share with us stories of how she would go on the street instead of taking the time to plan for her classes, she would go on the road, she would drive, she would see some of her students because she had purposefully chosen the students who were performing below average or below what the standards were for that particular region. And she would go, she would stop, she would get them the clothes. Sometimes they needed soap or deodorant or socks. And she would go and supply those things so that they would have no excuse but to be in school, getting rid of all of the challenges or obstacles that they were facing. And so in order to be a great educator, you have to go above and beyond what it means to just supply the information and teach it in class and then be done. Your teaching hours go far beyond what is expected in the curriculum, especially if your purpose is to really educate your students, not just provide the material. And so, Dr. Ordu, I know that as an academic, that there must be some people who have inspired you within academia or maybe outside in order to have the philosophy or the values that you have now. My question is, what are some of your role models in academia? And what is the legacy that your role models have left? And then the second question is, what do you want your legacy to be as an educator?
Now, before going to responding to this third question, I must also state that in teaching, any good teacher, whether you have grown to the hierarchy of a doctor or a professor, you must not teach to fail the students. You must teach to empower them. They're in school because they do not know much and they do not learn much. That is why we go to school. We go to school to pay school fees to learn. And by doing that, you have to be patient because you meet those that are invariably disadvantaged. And it's our privilege as teachers to empower those that are, privileged and unprivileged by understanding the differences in humanity, by being able to accept even when assignment is late, even there's policy and time that indicates that assignments are due certain time and certain date. You should be able to encourage them to do that assignment by giving them some samples, if that's what it needs. Provide them those examples so that they can look through it and be able to complete their work and earn partial grades instead of earning all or getting a 0 in that class. Now, those that have encouraged me as role model, as I indicated earlier, it started from my good parents, my mom and dad. They were my mentors. They were my coach. And they made me to be a mentor and a coach today by understanding what life is. And those my teachers that taught me from elementary, secondary, and college. And today, I'm still in touch with some of them, those that are alive, because life does not end in the classroom alone. Life continues to grow as we continue to live by God's opportunity. So it started with my parents and those that also have taught me and those that I've done business with that are my mentors. I do have mentors that I speak today, and I do consult them in terms of encouraging me and empowering me in different arenas that makes life what it is. So the legacy that I do want, that I've left or learned from my role models, or that I do want to be the day God, after God has called me, is to make people to understand that those that I have helped, to speak of the good things that I've done for them. And knowing that it takes a village to raise a child, so I'm also in that line by making sure that I empower the underprivileged and the privileged and those that come across me on day-to-day life and businesses, because it is very important that we carry each other in our life process.
Amen. I think that was excellently said. And for the last question that I have for you, if you could just spend a minute expounding upon your answer. As an educator, what distinguishes Global Over Day Seminary and University from other institutions?
Thank you very much, H.D. Cairo. GODSU is a powerful word. Indeed, in Jesus' name, amen. GODSU is a powerful word and talks about empowerment and how to change the world. GODSU makes sure that everybody has the power to do the impossible. The impossible, being able to overcome the impossible in life is what leads to most of our success. Everybody has power to engage with the community. That's what makes GODSU different from other universities. When you talk about opportunities, that's what GODSU does in so many ways. GODSU validates people's lives and take care of Black wealth success.
That was so well said. I really enjoyed especially the last two responses that you gave as to your mentors, who has encouraged you and how you're able to consult with them as well as giving back. I want to tell you, Dr. Ordu, that we are absolutely privileged and honored to have you as our Vice-Provost of GODSU because of the breadth and the wealth of knowledge that you share with us, as well as the experiences that you've had as an educator and as an award-winning educator. And so having you share that, thank you so much, because when you hear that from someone who's an accomplished educator, hearing how we empower our students, we don't just give them their degrees, their earned degrees, and let them fly off, but instead we assist them every step of the way. Yes, we assist them every step of the way. So thank you so much for that. That was a minor technical difficulty, but that does not stop and change the fact that we're so grateful for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ordu, for being on the line. And if there are people who are interested in learning more about you and want to get in contact with you, please give them some information on how to do so.
I can be reached at number, which is 770-605-2423. Again, 770-605-2423. And my email is one of those that our former Vice President invented email. It's a long one. A as in Alpha, M as in Monday, A as in Alpha, E as in Edward, T as in come, H as in home, I as in in. Amici at I as in in, X as in XYZ, dot, N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, T as in Tuesday, C as in come, 0 as in O, M as in Monday.com. That is my email address. However, if you are unable to write email address, you can always reach me at the phone number 770-605-2423. God bless everyone and God bless GODSU.
Amen. We're going to say it for everyone one more time. A as in apple, M as in Mary, A as in apple, E as in egg, C as in cat, H as in hat, I as in igloo, at I as in igloo, X as in xylophone, or maybe I should use another one. X as in the cross, right? X dot NETCOM, so net, N as in Nancy, E as in egg, T as in a Taylor, COM.com. So it's Amici at ix.netcom.com. Man, that is a mouthful. Well, we want to make sure that everyone can reach you, so we've provided your phone number as well as your email address. Again, we cannot thank you enough, Dr. Ordu, for gracing us with your presence. And at this time, I'd like to transition over to Imam Dr.Bashir Ali. Imam Dr. Bashir Ali currently serves as the Midwest Section Convener and National Convener of Imams in association with the Community of Imam W.D. Muhammad. Over the years, Bashir has served as a prison chaplain and resident imam. Since 1993, he has been the resident imam and president of the Muslim Education and Community Association MECA of Peoria, Illinois. Bashir has also served as the state convener of the Illinois Shura. Currently, Imam Bashir Ali writes books and lectures throughout the country on the Quranic foundations of developing model Muslim communities. In his capacity as Midwest and National Convener, Imam Bashir has had the opportunity to work with imams across the region and country to promote and develop Islamic democracy and governance through shared consultation. He has also worked with imams and other community leaders to create the Midwest Leadership Conference and Community Leadership Summit to address critical areas of community development, including marriage and family life, education, business and economic development, government and civic engagement, youth development, and leadership development. Imam Bashir Ali grew up in Chicago and graduated from the University of Illinois in architecture. He worked as an architectural engineer for 8 years. Bashir recently retired as the Director of Workforce Development for Central Illinois, a position he held for 25 years. He has been a leader in economic and community development and has been the recipient of numerous international, national, and state awards. Bashir has also been director of a community-based organization and community college administrator. Imam, are you on the line with me at this time?
Yes, ma'am, my dear sister. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, the pleasure is all mine. When I tell you, before I delve into my questions, I just want to say something about Imam Ali. He is so humble about all that he has done. He is a trailblazer in the areas of community development. And I love what you're doing in terms of building model Muslim communities. This is so important that we focus on the communities in order to impact and affect change. So thank you, first of all, for all that you have been doing within the Muslim societies and cultures, or communities, excuse me, within the United States as well as abroad.
Well, you're quite welcome. Thank you for your excellent example, your accomplishments, and who you are. Thank you so much, my dear.
Imam Dr. Ali, this is just a pleasure of mine. The pleasure is really all mine. So the first question I have for you is just to set the foundation. What is the journey that has led you to become the Midwest Convener and National Convener of Imams? And for many of us on the line, we may not even know what that means. So could you please share with us so we can have some cultural exchange and learn quite a bit from you in this area?
Yes, and I characterize it as 3 parts. I have obviously my family and community experiences, as well as a loving family and a caring and nurturing community that I grew up in. I have a faith journey, a leadership journey. In my faith journey, I've been blessed to serve in various capacities in my religious experiences, multiple, and then evolving into being a young minister and later on being an imam. And as I grew in those responsibilities, I've been blessed to take on a lot of responsibilities, and that gets me into my leadership journey. My whole life I was so blessed to just be chosen by others to responsibilities from an early age, in school. I was asked to take on leadership responsibilities. My church, I was also, as I said before, I was a Boy Scout leader on my team. In my religious journey, I was asked to take on progressive responsibilities. Most recently, over the last 10 years, as I undertook my responsibilities as a resident imam, I was asked to take on a regional responsibility of coordinating imams in the Midwest section. And I was blessed to undertake that responsibility. That led me to a national responsibility. Regional conveners selected me or asked me to take on the responsibility of coordinating the regional conveners and was asked to take on the role of national convener of imams. So I thank God for every element of my journey, for my family and community, for my faith, and my inspiration I got from that, and my leadership experiences that I've taken on in my life and in my professional career as well. I would add that my professional career gave me a lot of tools to work with people in a structured way to develop community life and also to develop strategic planning strategies and work with people to make things better in a more productive way.
You know, one thing that I have to say about you, as well as Professor Dr. Prince Ordu, is that you both have the element of being solution-oriented individuals. And this is something that we talked about a few weeks ago with Dr. Michael V. Roberts, where we talked about the differences between being a solution-oriented person and being someone who only focuses on the problems. And with you, you're finding the solutions. You're saying, okay, what can we do in these communities to be able to enhance the quality of life for those within these communities? What can we do in order to make this information more accessible or to be able to bring everyone together? And that is wonderful, absolutely wonderful, that in all communities, we need people who are on board saying, we see the problems, now let's identify the solutions. So thank you for that. Thank you for taking on that responsibility on a regional level as well as within the local communities.
Thank you. Thank you. That's part of what I do. Thank you.
Well, I do want to highlight something that was mentioned in your biography, that you have been a prison chaplain. And, you know, as many of you know, through GODSU, we offer several chaplaincy programs. We have the Spiritual and Love Chaplaincy Program that's non-religious. We also have the Christian Chaplaincy Program. And we'll be unveiling the Islamic Chaplaincy Program extremely soon. And so we're so elated because we know that it is imperative that we have more chaplaincy programs that are speaking and resonating directly with those individuals within their respective faiths. And we want to make sure that those who are Muslim or identified very closely with the Islamic chaplaincy, that they have access to this information. So I want to ask you, why do you think that we need chaplains? And what is the role of a chaplain, in your opinion, based off of your experiences as an experienced chaplain?
Well, as you said, the role of a chaplain, as you indicated, one of the GODSU program, really is multifaceted. Chaplains provide spiritual guidance, counseling, religious services in a variety of ways, depending on the institutional setting that they are in. I was blessed to be a prison chaplain for 15 years. And I work with inmates who are incarcerated, seeking out to develop their religious life. And variety of capacities. We developed, we established the religious services that were required. We also been help develop training programs and classes for them, and I did some counseling as well. So I work with them and develop them in what they needed in their own personal development, and help them to, I hope I added value to their spiritual experience as well.
Well, you know, one thing that I will say, I've spoken to people who are also been chaplains for quite a while, or they offer, they offer guidance to others spiritually. One thing I will say that they've all said is that oftentimes just your presence is enough. Knowing that you took the time out of your busy schedule to be there, to administer to them, to be present as a spiritual guider or a guide, excuse me, that means the world to people, and it really does make the difference. And so the last question I have for you is, what energizes you every day? What is your passion? You've worked in so many different areas. I know that you had a background in architecture, as well as the current role that you have as an imam and the convener of imams as well within the Midwest. But what is your passion? You could just boil it down in just a sentence or two. What would your answer be?
My passion really is to please God. On just every day that I wake up, I thank God for waking up. I ask God to help me to be true to the purpose He has established in me. Give the gifts and abilities, and I want to be true to those gifts and abilities, and true to the purpose He has for me. And last but not least, time is a very fleeting thing. You have a very limited time on this earth, and I pray to God that each and every day I true my purpose, I add value to others, and I make the world better.
Awesome answer. There's nothing else to be added to that. Thank you so much for that. Imam Dr. Ali, if there are people who are interested in getting into contact with you, would love to learn more, can you please share your information so they can do so?
Yes, I can be reached on my cell phone, area code 309-208-2847, and by email at Mecca Center, MECA, and Mary Child Alpha Center, CNPR, .BA as in Charlie, at gmail.com.
Wonderful. Well, can we have you repeat that one more time? Just one more time, please.
Yes. Telephone or cell phone, 309-208-2847, and email Mecca Center, MECA Center, .BA at gmail.com.
Wonderful. Well, Imam Dr. Ali, it has been a pleasure. I want to just say before I transition over to our Chancellor, Dr. Diane, that I am calling you and talking to you and asking you if you would please do us the honor and the privilege of being on our talk tonight, and you were enthusiastic about it. And we got to share some of the things that we've been doing. And I wanted to let you know that I am so happy that we have you as part of the GODSU family. You have just blessed us in so many different ways, and just the ways in which you've been able to teach me and prepare me as I went to Egypt the first time, and I'm going to be going to Egypt again very soon. And I spoke to you about what that would look like, and you got so excited. I just wanted to let you know that this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of being able to connect others and being able to teach people as well culturally. When I went to Egypt, I'll just say this very quickly, that when I went to Egypt, I went during Ramadan, and I went there as a guest, as a visitor. And the amount of love that I felt while I was there, there's no way to quantify it. But I knew that me speaking to individuals like yourself, Imam Dr. Ali, as well as Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, made all of the difference because I was well prepared ahead of time. I knew some of the cultural differences that I would need to observe, and it made me a more informed guest. I wanted to make sure that I did everything right, and I knew speaking with you both that I would. So thank you meant for that. Thank you for teaching me, and I look forward to learning more.
Well, thank you, A.T. Cairo, and part of that credit also goes to you as well for your beautiful spirit, your humble, beautiful self, and I think your reflection of what you receive from others as well.
God bless you. God bless you so much. Well, that is it, everyone. We're going to transition over now to our GODSU graduation call. When I said this is it for my part in terms of being able to interview two wonderful individuals every single week. We'll be back again with women next week. But I just want to say, as we transition to the GODSU graduation call, we want graduates on the line to text any questions they have to the corporate cell 301-326-3191. And for those who are international, +1 301-326-3191, so that we can be able to start pumping. This is going to be predominantly a question and answer, because we know that some of you may have some questions, and we want to make sure that they're answered on the line during this time. This is the time to ask questions. Please don't, wait to give your questions until next Thursday or Wednesday or Friday. No, ask them tonight. Please text those over to the corporate cell. And with that being said, we're going to transition over to the GODSU graduation call. And God bless everyone as we transition. Thank you.
Welcome and good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, depending on where you are. This is